I don't know if you know anything about her, but yeah, I mean, yeah. I wanted to go through the list of conspiracy theorists, but we thought this would be a good week to let the audience get to know her a bit better. Please tell me when things are going south. When the ship is sinking, it's usually because someone like Trump isn't at the center of it anymore, and instead surrounds himself with, well, he normally surrounds himself with some pretty wild people. But this Loomer, ever wonder, what happens when a comedian pokes the Trump bear? Bill Maher just found out, and it's wilder than a MAGA hat at a Democratic fundraiser. So here's one of our favorites. For example, my spirit animal was eaten by Haitians. My biggest fear, immigrants taking my job as a right-wing hate monger. One little joke about Melania and Loomer, and suddenly Trump is throwing a tantrum, bigger than his border wall plans. Grab your popcorn, folks. This political comedy show is about to get messy. Picture this. Bill Maher is doing his thing on his show, cracking jokes left and right, with that smirk on his face. You know the one. Then he drops this bomb about Trump being so desperate he might marry Loomer. Maher probably thought it was just another zinger in his nightly Trump roast. But oh boy, did he accidentally poke the MAGA bear. At first, there were just crickets. Nobody really batted an eye. I mean, come on, it's Bill Maher. The guy's been taking shots at Trump since, well, forever. But then something weird happened. It's like the joke took a moment to percolate through the MAGAsphere, and suddenly, boom, total meltdown. Trump's loyal army of supporters started losing their minds faster than you can say CF. As a child, I had 2 of my Bratz dolls deported. I don't hate all brown people, just the brown ones. Social media lit up like a Christmas tree covered in red MAGA hats. You had folks posting angry rants longer than Trump's ties. Some of these keyboard warriors were calling for an all-out boycott of HBO. Can you imagine? No more Game of Thrones. Reruns for the MAGA crowd. But wait, it gets better. Some of Trump's more, let's say, enthusiastic fans were practically foaming at the mouth, demanding Maher's head on a silver platter. Talk about an overreaction. It's like they forgot that comedians tell jokes for a living. Who knew a little jab could cause such a big ouchie? The whole thing spread faster than fake news on Facebook. It was like watching a virtual game of telephone, but instead of the message getting garbled, it just got angrier with each share. You had Twitter threads longer than Mar-a-Lago's driveway, Facebook posts rivaling War and Peace, and don't even get me started on YouTube comment sections. It was a hot mess of capital letters and exclamation points. And in the middle of all this chaos, Bill Maher was probably sitting back and wondering how the heck his little joke turned into the political equivalent of stepping on a Lego. I mean, the guy's been poking fun at politicians for decades, but this was next level. Here's the kicker. While all this drama was unfolding, guess who was watching? Yep, the big man himself, Mr. I have the best words. Trump. And let me tell you, he wasn't about to let this slide. Oh no, sir. Trump was gearing up to fire back with all the grace and eloquence of, well, Trump. Our favorite reality TV star turned politician couldn't resist jumping into the fray. Yep, you guessed it. The Orange Menace himself decided to grace us with his thoughts. But hold on to your MAGA hats, because this time something was different. Trump, being Trump, couldn't just let Maher's jokes slide. He had to respond. And boy, did he respond quickly. It's like he has a sixth sense for knowing when someone's making fun of him. But here's the kicker. He couldn't even use his favorite playground Twitter to throw his tantrum. Nope, he had to settle for Truth Social, which is kind of like using a megaphone in an empty room. Now, Trump isn't exactly known for his eloquence, but this time he really outdid himself. He called Maher a low IQ individual. Wow, Donald, did you stay up all night thinking of that zinger? It's like he has a magic 8-ball of insults, and it always lands on low IQ. But here's where things get interesting. Trump's loyal army of supporters started sharing his post faster than you can say, "see you." It was like watching a game of telephone, except instead of the message getting distorted, it just got louder and angrier. But something was off about this whole situation. Trump seemed different. He wasn't just mad, he was annoyed. Like, really annoyed. It's as if Maher's joke about marrying Loomer hit a nerve. Maybe it reminded him of his own marital musical chairs. Who knows? The whole thing made Trump look about as thick-skinned as tissue paper in a rainstorm. It's like he forgot the first rule of being a public figure. Don't let them see you sweat. Sweat! But there he was, practically steaming, like a mythic cartoon character. And oh boy, did his supporters try to come to his rescue. They flooded social media, defending their dear leader's honor. But here's the thing. Their efforts backfired, spectacularly. It was like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Every attempt to defend Trump only led to more ridicule and criticism. A masterclass in how not to handle PR. You'd think that after all these years in the public eye, Trump would have developed a thicker skin. But nope, he's still as sensitive, as ever. It's like watching a bull charge at a red flag, except the flag is a joke and the bull is wearing a bad toupee. This whole episode is just another chapter in the ongoing saga of Trump versus comedians, a tale as old as time, or at least as old as Trump's political career. He has a history of lashing out at anyone who dares mock him, especially on social media. It's like his own version of whack-a-mole, except instead of moles, it's comedians, and instead of a mallet, it's angry posts. Looks like Loomer is taking a page from Trump's playbook. When in doubt, sue. She's not just mad about Bill Maher's joke. She's $150 million worth of mad. That's right, folks. Loomer decided a comedian's quip is worth more than the GDP of many small countries. Talk about a punchline that really landed in court. So, what's got Loomer's MAGA hat in a twist? Apparently, Maher's little jab about her potentially being Trump's next wife hit a nerve. And not just any nerve. It's connected directly to her lawyer's speed dial. Before you could say frivolous lawsuit, Loomer was lawyered up and ready to rumble. Her attorney, Larry Klayman, is throwing around big words like defamation with malice. Ooh, fancy. He claims Loomer has been directly affected, victimized, and severely damaged by Maher's joke. Poor thing. I guess nobody told her that being a public figure means people sometimes say mean things about you. Who knew? But here's the kicker. Legal experts are having a field day with this one. They're laughing harder at Loomer's lawsuit than they did at Maher's original joke. Why? Because apparently, this legal masterpiece reads less like a court document and more like a conspiracy theory novel. Word on the street is they're already optioning the movie rights. Working title: Loomer versus Laughter, the $150 million chuckle. These same experts are saying Loomer's chances of winning this case are about as good as Trump growing a full head of natural hair. Courts tend to protect comedians under this pesky little thing called the First Amendment. You know, that old piece of paper that lets people say stuff without getting sued for millions. In fact, there's precedent for this kind of thing. Remember when Sarah Silverman got sued for a joke? The judge in that case basically said, "It's a joke, not a personal attack. Don't take it so hard." Okay, maybe not in those exact words, but you get the idea. Courts aren't keen on punishing comedians for doing their job. But don't tell that to Loomer. She's not backing down. Nope, she's turned this into her personal crusade against Maher. It's like Don Quixote tilting at windmills, except the windmill is a comedian, and the lance is a really expensive lawsuit. Meanwhile, Bill Maher is probably sitting back, sipping a cocktail, and brainstorming his next joke. This whole situation is comedy gold. Loomer practically handed him material on a silver platter, garnished with a side of desperation and a sprinkle of MAGA tears. Maher isn't apologizing. Instead, he's doubling down, treating this lawsuit like it's a comedy goldmine, and he's not alone. Other late-night hosts like Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert have joined the bandwagon, taking shots at Trump and Loomer like it's some kind of roast Olympics. The jokes keep getting sharper. You'd think Trump supporters would be used to comedians mocking their orange messiah by now. But nope, they're more fired up than ever. Right-wing media is treating Maher's joke like treason, acting as if laughter itself is a weapon of mass destruction. And speaking of destruction, have you seen Tucker Carlson lately? The poor guy looks more confused than a cat at a dog park. Fox News is melting down over this. treating Maher's jokes like evidence of a grand leftist conspiracy against Trump and his followers. Newsflash, Tucker. It's just comedy, not a conspiracy theory. But wait, there's more. Trump's campaign team is milking this controversy for all it's worth, sending out fundraising emails to supporters at lightning speed. Because nothing says serious political candidate like picking a fight with a comedian. The funniest part? While Trump's team is busy spinning a joke into a fundraising opportunity, Maher is probably preparing another round of zingers, and the comedy cycle continues.